Welcome back to Sprague Homestead. I'm Nikki, and here's your question of the week. Alright, so this one I had to do a little research and look up because I will be honest, I haven't tracked this in a number of years. But how much feed will my meat rabbits go through a year? Alright, so we're going to assume that you are feeding a commercial feed, because if you're not, it's really going to be hard for me to calculate this. But if you are feeding a commercial feed, if it's a 16% protein, 3% fat, 20% fiber, and it's being fed at the rate of 1 ounce per pound, and you've got a 10-pound rabbit, you're going to go through about 225 pounds of feed a year. And think about this as maintaining your adult breeding herd, right? So it's going to be for like your bucks or your does. This is just what it's going to take them on average in a year is about 225 pounds a piece. Now, when I had to look this up because I wasn't real sure, it says when you're looking at a rabbit that's producing a litter of approximately 8, to get that litter up to 5 pounds, presuming that it's taking 8 to 10 weeks, you should be going through approximately 100 pounds per litter. This is in addition to the 225 that mom is using. Now, some feeds feed at the rate of half an ounce per pound. And so you're going to have to kind of adjust that. You might be looking at 120 pounds of feed for mom, 50 for a litter. But more typical, you're going to find the 1 ounce per pound. So somewhere in there. Of course, if your rabbit's a little bit bigger, if you're using a large breed New Zealand or something that's going up to 12 pounds, you're going to have to kind of adjust from there. But about 225 for each adult and somewhere about 100 pounds per individual litter. Now, if you're wondering where I got that number, I actually Googled it and looked it up and then talked to several of my friends that are commercial breeders and kind of bounced it off of them and said, hey, does this sound about right to you? I went back and looked at some of my really old records, and it, based on how many rabbits I had at the time and how often I was buying feed, looks pretty accurate. So, will your rabbits vary a little bit? Sure. I mean, some breeds aren't as feed efficient. If you're butchering your rabbits more at like 12, 13, 14 weeks, you might find that they take more feed. There are going to be lots of variables. Just like people, a lot of animals have different metabolism rates. So you might find that while, 225 pounds of feed works really well for buck A, it might be too much for buck B and not enough for buck C. But it'll give you a starting point. Like I said, that's commercial feed. If you're doing something else, if you're adding hay in or garden vegetables or anything else, you're going to have to do the math on that because every different food stuff has varying nutrition levels and will make a difference. So that is your question of the week. I will see you next time. Happy homesteading.